All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Q&A live stream number 93. It is approximately 8:02 p.m. right here on the East Coast in the great state of New Jersey. Today is Friday, December 18th, 2020. This is the last Friday before Christmas Eve. That's right, we are 1 week away from Christmas Eve. So we have a lot to talk about today in this live stream, and we're going to just get right to it. We do have a couple of topics to go over, a couple things to discuss, and we're going to get started very soon. So we'll give people a couple minutes to join, and then we will get started. Okay. Okay, I see somebody in the live stream. Hello there, how are you? Why is it? Oh, okay. Okay, we have a bunch of people. Okay. Hi, elevator guy, 8484. How are you? How are you doing? Hi, Garden State Elevators. How are you? Another vaccine. Yes, I heard the Moderna one's getting approved. You got a new garage door opener? Oh, that's great. Hello, B/C Elevators and more. How are you? Hello, Nicole Solar. How are you? So we're going to get right to this, guys. So first of all, Lord & Taylor will be getting phase one of closing some of their stores. Part of the first phase is the Ridge Hill store, the store at Walt Whitman Shops in Huntington Station, New York, and Westfield South Shore. Also, the Livingston Mall in Livingston, New Jersey, and the Lord & Taylor at Rockaway Town Square. Those will all be closing by December 2020. Hi, Scorch. How are you? Hello, Michael. How are you? Nabaya. Hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Hey, Joe. How are you? JCPenney. Yep. Most of those 15 stores that JCPenney is closing are one-story stores. Some are connected to a mall and some are in strip malls, but they are malls that are not owned by the Simon Property or Brookfield Property Group. So I did hear about that, unfortunately. REI is closing their store at Ridge Hill, another loss. So yeah, I'm pretty depressed about Lord & Taylor too. I just saw today, I think it was the West Farms location. It was at the West Farms Mall, which is a Taubman mall. It's pretty depressing in there. Not really that much left. A lot of the merchandise has moved to the upper level, and the lower level just pretty much consists of just literally store fixtures. As a matter of fact, another one of my friends who was just getting a video on the escalators, he unfortunately ran into, I guess it was security of the liquidation company. They were like, no exceptions, turn your camera off. So clearly, Hilco Merchants is not very happy about people filming and liquidating in their stores. I'm sure Hilco is well aware of my store tours, and they're probably not too happy that they're on the internet. But you know what? Lord & Taylor is going out of business, so it really shouldn't matter to them. That's why I absolutely hate these liquidators, because they literally just love picking on people that film in their stores. It's terrible too. I absolutely hate Hilco Merchants, but I guess it is part of their contract and it's part of their job. So it's a shame, but I guess they just don't like photography in those stores. Lord & Taylor has always been very snobby about photography. Personally, it's nothing new. It's just now at the liquidation, they don't want the evidence to get out there. But You know what? I've filmed maybe like 5 different stores, and what I've typically done is I typically have my cell phone at my stomach level, so it doesn't look like that I'm taking photos. And typically I go in with a cell phone because you go in there with a camera, they will nail you and they will throw you right out of the store. So, but even then, I got thrown out of Rockaway for having a cell phone. So, phone or camera, you can get thrown out either way. It's hard to be discreet, especially when liquidators are have all eyes on the store floors. Unfortunately, yeah. Not even no, they're not even Wall Street punks. They just they're not part of Wall Street. It's a much different company. It's a liquidation company. So, yeah. Oh yeah, no. Hilco Merchants, yeah, no. They hate people going inside and taking videos. It's a shame though. Which do you like better, Dilbert Impulse fixtures or ThyssenKrupp Impulse? They're about the same. They're literally the same. COVID will go away, I would say between April and May. We'll finally defeat this virus. That's my prediction. Yeah, so here's the thing. Westfield Sunrise is in an area of Long Island that has a lot of money. And I think with Urban Edge personally taking over Westfield Sunrise, there's a lot more value in that, say something in Broadway Commons. Just because Massapequa has more money, there's more money down there versus Hicksville. Um, you know, so that's why they're going to do the investment, and that's why Westfield Sunrise, I think, is a key property for Massapequa, because that whole area of Massapequa on the south shore of Long Island, that's a very valuable area of Long Island, and that's why they're more than eager to redevelop that whole mall. And personally, I think it's a great opportunity too. I think they could really make the center like a community place for the town to go hang out, and it might even be cool. They might even call it Sunrise Town Center. That could be something, but who knows? Time will tell. Yeah, only 2 stores. They're actually in Connecticut. They're closing West Farms and they're closing Danbury. In New Jersey, they're closing 2 stores. Maryland, they're closing the last 2 in New Hampshire. So they're going down from 38 to 17. And then depending on if new restrictions are introduced, the remaining 21 will close January, February. But that is subject to change if new restrictions on non-essential retail are introduced. So right now, I can't say yes or no to that. But what I do know right now is that those 17 stores are closing within the next 8 days. Yeah, yeah, no. The face mask thing, it is so debatable. My take on it is wear the mask. You need to wear the mask when you cannot practice social distancing. That's my opinion. I'm not saying there are times where you need to absolutely wear the mask, and there are times where you're okay with not wearing a mask. Like for an example, if you're walking in town and there's nobody else around you, you don't need to have a mask on. However, if you are in a crowd or inside a store or outside in a gathering, yes, you should absolutely wear a mask. So I know people saying masks are this and masks are that. The important thing with this, the important thing with this, and wearing this should not be a debate, okay? I don't care what your party affiliation is. This needs to be worn when you are in inside buildings, public transit, and if you're in a large crowd that is not your immediate family. These need to be worn no matter what. We are still in the midst of a pandemic. These are important, and these are what is going to help us eventually defeat this virus next year. So, masks are important. I cannot stress that enough. I gotta go. My mom was here. Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, that's a shame. Yeah, I'm not up for debate here. I just think the mask is very important, especially in indoor spaces and large gatherings. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go any further than that. Christmas Eve Mass at my church is being limited to 100 people for in person, but they are being streamed. That would make sense. That is a religious gathering. Yeah, it definitely will go away. Yeah, well, I mean, I've gotten to pretty much a decent chunk of them. I'm going to see if I can get to maybe one more store before the end of the year. The good news is Livingston and Rockaway already have videos, so I'm not worried about those two. Sunrise will not get new anchor department stores. Absolutely not. If Urban Edge is taking it over, they're going to completely overhaul the property. They will not get new department stores there. What store is closing in New Jersey? Well, the Lord and Taylor at Livingston and Rockaway Town Square are closing within the next 8 days. No, Manhasset is still closing, but it's not part of this phase. The two on Long Island that are currently going to be closing in the next 8 to 9 or 10 days is Walt Women's Shops and Westfield South Shore. Well, Hilco Merchants is bad. They're very bad on liquidate. Even Century 21, it was impossible to get pictures. I mean, I was just happy I didn't get caught for filming in there. Although Century 21 has had security like that even before they started liquidating. No, it's not closing. No, that one would be closing February 2021, although that is subject to change if new restrictions are introduced. Why doesn't Westfield Garden State Plaza have a Primark yet? Because we have a Primark at American Dream. Schindler. Nordstrom has a contract with Schindler. Yes, Dover traditionals are always good. Do you think people should wear masks even in outdoor elevators or any elevators? Yes, absolutely. Elevators are very small enclosed spaces, which it gives any opportunity for germs to spread. So yes, I do encourage mask wearing even in outdoor elevators. Same thing. Highly encourage it. Look, I'm not one who's going to talk about the virus and phrase anyone for doing good, because everybody really kind of just screwed up. There's no good person who did a good job. There was some effects, but yeah, that's just how I feel. But yeah, Boscov's is with Schindler. Yes, I would imagine it is subject to change. That is subject to change if new restrictions on non-essential retail are introduced. But right now, I know that 17 out of the 38 are expected to close by the end of this year. So it's interesting how Lord and Taylor's doing it. They're doing it as a phased closing versus Century 21 altogether. I mean, the only reason I think they're doing that is because Century 21 was a much smaller store fleet, and what's it called? I don't even know what I was talking about. Yeah, I mean, they're doing a phase liquidation. So Century 21, because they had a much smaller store fleet, they started in September and then did the first week of December. So that's how they were able to liquidate them so quickly. Lord and Taylor in February 2020. Is it updated? I don't know yet. We'll see. Yes, they did close 4 stores, and they're closing Natick, I believe. Yep. Yeah. No. And I think that's why. That's exactly why, because it was definitely Hilco Merchants. It was definitely a representative from Hilco Merchants that was spread out to each of the stores. That's probably what happened. Hi, Chris. Any luck with the coronavirus vaccines? So far, we have Pfizer, which was just approved, and Moderna, I believe, was approved today. I don't know exactly, but I'm happy to hear about Moderna and Pfizer. Those are two huge companies coming together and getting us to the beginning of the end of the pandemic. Now, the question does come down to when will us and yours truly be able to get a vaccine? It's going to be somewhere between March and May. That is the timeline I think we're looking at right now, because you got to remember, frontline and essential workers have to be first. Anybody over 65 and anybody who has a compromised immune system, who is higher risk, that needs to get the vaccine first. But people like you and me, we get the vaccine between end of March, early May. It's going to be somewhere in that timeline. And as for a second shutdown, I can't answer that right now, unfortunately. Primark, ThyssenKrupp, and Walmart, I think Schindler. Oh, really? It was just approved. Wow. Wow, that's pretty incredible. It was just approved as I was talking in this live stream. Wow. That's the first time I've done a live stream where a COVID vaccine was approved. There's still no official last day at Lord and Taylor Quaker Bridge. Did it close already? No, because that is part of Lord and Taylor's next phase. So no, I don't think so. So I don't think it's closing anytime. Actually, no, it is closing, but they haven't announced the final day yet. Dillard's, I think Kone. I'm not 100% on that one because we don't have Dillard's up here. I saw abandoned Kmart. Yes, I'm definitely going to see the rest of that after this live stream. That was that new Bright Sun Films thing. That's correct. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't sound like it. Well, except for El Paso, which got hit hard. That was the new epicenter. By the way, it's the new epicenter of the coronavirus is Los Angeles, California. Isn't it like crazy of how the epicenter has shifted? So first it started in New York, then it went to Florida, then it went north up to like the Midwest. Now the epicenter, and then the epicenter went south to El Paso, and then it went west to California. It's crazy of how the virus moved. Yep, 70 a week. Yeah, Christmas is 1 week away. Yeah, it really depends on who builds the shop right and who's the cheapest bidder. They want to keep the infection rate low. Not quite. It depends on the company. No, definitely Lord and Taylor first. If Bright Sun Films is doing anything next after Kmart, it's definitely Lord and Taylor. The thing is, Lord and Taylor has such a good story where Bright Sun Films can literally go on his computer and make a great video out of it. Yeah, yeah, definitely Christmas is definitely different this year. Yes, next week is Christmas. They want to keep the infection rate down. I think that's why. I mean, there's really not anything you can compare with Nanuet. Nanuet's a dying structure, although it is getting a stop and shop. And the Westchester is really just an upscale mall that contains Macy's and the Neiman Marcus. Oh, I thought there was more down in the chat. Yeah, I think that's the rule. You have to have a negative test. Next week is my brother's birthday named Collins. Cool. They are getting around one, yes. And I don't know where At Home is. Will there be future renovations for the shops in Inuit? I don't think so. Yeah, I would rather see Lord and Taylor. That's the next one that he needs to do. Oh, cool. Well, happy birthday to him. Yeah, I'm sure they got paid a lot of money to liquidate those stores. Yes, he does. Nope. Sears and Kmart are not making a comeback. Thanks, you too. Target, Schindler. Interesting. Oh, sweet. Depends. Otis. Yeah, I guess they have a lot of ones. Yes, there's plenty of Macy's backstage stores. Yeah, fixtures too. Definitely Otis. Not too many Schindlers around, unless you hit once you hit the malls though. There's a bunch of Schindlers around. Yep, they're closing 15 stores. The Macy's flagship is opened. ThyssenKrupp? None. Macy's had a ThyssenKrupp contract, but then they got rid of it. Now they're with Schindler. So I don't know who has a ThyssenKrupp contract. Schindler absolutely has a contract with Schindler. Although at this point they're dying structures. At this point, Sears and Kmart. They did, and then they switched it to Schindler. That's a 9-story store. Yep, they're closing 15, but all of them are not. Well, some are connected to malls, but most of them are just one floor. Yep, Macy's flagship is in Manhattan. That's correct. I think so, but I think they were looking for the cheapest bidder, and I guess Schindler offered them a sweetheart contract deal they couldn't resist. So personally, I like the Schindlers that they've installed in the Macy's. Like I'm like I used to bash Schindler a lot because they were just commonly placed, but they really upped their quality, especially inside like Macy's and Bloomingdale's. The Macy's flagship is opened. I don't know what why you're saying it's closed. It's opened. You can go into Macy's Herald Square. It's not. They didn't close it again. The only thing that they closed in Manhattan was indoor dining, which to me is just stupid. But whatever. No, none are closing in New York or New Jersey. Failed concept. No, no, no. None of them are closing in fellow Metro Philly area. There's one closing in Pennsylvania, but it's a one-story store. Palisade Center. I don't know. That mall is going to have a really tough time competing with American Dream. I think Palisades is in some trouble, honestly. Well, considering it doesn't have a J.C. Penney, considering it doesn't have a Lord and Taylor, Macy's could cut back. Yeah, I do think Palisades is in some deep crap, but I do think that they'll hold on to the Macy's considering there's some kind of need for Rockland County. Probably not anything anytime soon. I mean, just looking that indoor dining is now banned in New York City. Yeah, no, and then the governor goes on and he's like, "Be happy I closed indoor dining." So great, you're going to put people out of business. Just great, more people out of jobs. No, that was not a Stearns. The Stearns was where J.C. Penney was. That was the Stearns flagship. Oh yeah, the American Dream was an eyesore. Our one of our former politicians called it the ugliest damn building in the state, which I couldn't agree with that anymore. The ugliest damn building in the state, which I'm glad that they fixed it up personally. It's really nice inside now, actually. American Dream. I have yet to go to the water park though. I'm probably gonna go after Christmas personally. So What about Abraham and Strauss? Was their headquarters located at Herald Square before Macy's took over in 1995? Nope. No, it doesn't. What is the future of the American Dream Mall? Well, I think post-pandemic, I think it's going to do really well. It's got a theme park, a water park, indoor golf, an ice skating rink. Yeah, I think that's going to do really well. No, Abraham and Strauss headquarters was in Brooklyn. Most likely, yes. They needed to replace it after every so often because then parts are come to hard our parts are hard to come by, and it's just cheaper to do that, honestly. And the Canton Pump is not bad. And I actually like the Canton Pump. They did that for a couple of elevators. They did that for Woodbridge, Bridgewater Commons, Brunswick Square, Hamilton Mall. I think that's the four that they did it for Jersey. I'm not sure when they did another one. I think maybe Smith Haven got one, but I don't know. Anyways, so that was always a Macy's, correct? Yeah, but I guess the Horton Pump was probably starting to finally go, and they just needed to do it cheap and easy. Yeah, that's probably why they installed the Vector, because I guess at the time Haynes had a contract with Montgomery, so they installed the Vector in preparation to make that a Haynes. It's an interesting store, though. Yeah, and it's like the last decent original elevator in the mall because Nordstrom is now gone. So you're really, I mean, to only go there, you're riding three Schindler MTs, an XL, a 330A, a ThyssenKrupp, and a Montgomery Vector. Although they're not commonly placed up here, at least. So they're kind of rare, I guess. All right. Hi. All right. I think we're going to go ahead and end the live stream. Thank you guys for watching, and that's it.